Hey, here's a message for Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. Pay attention, bud. This is for Mike Johnson. If you're not Mike Johnson, you can keep scrolling or you can stay here and listen to what I have to say. Hey, Mike, you have until Wednesday to swear her in. Wednesday. Or I will release your Grindr profile and your IP address. I bring receipts, bitch. You're not going to sit there and actively work against LGBTQ rights and democracy. It is treason. Yeah, I'm calling you out for treason. You have until Wednesday to swear her in and let democracy take its course, or I will release your Grindr profile and your IP address. Connects both to you, Mike. The choice is yours. Do the right thing. Because I'm petty. And I'm not above this bullshit. Go fuck yourself.
Gavin Newsom and his press office are mocking the hell out of Donald Trump. So this is how we're going to get some of the news. There's just always news. Always. Anyways, we're going to start with a little pettiness. It says, oh my God, Trump is now placing tariffs on Jesus. Sick. Trump puts 100% tariff on Mel Gibson. Christ. Please go ahead and take a screenshot of this. We've talked about the now 100% tariffs on movies that Donald Trump has placed. This is from his live social this morning at 5:56 this morning. Our movie making business has been stolen from the United States of America by other countries, just like stealing candy from a baby. California, with its weak and incompetent governor, has been particularly hit hard. Therefore, in order to solve this long-time, never-ending problem, I will be imposing a 100% tariff on any and all movies that are made outside of the United States. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Make America great again. President DJT. So that's how we got to this tweet this morning. Oh my God, Trump is now placing tariffs on Jesus. Sick. Then we get this picture, and I'm totally sure that this is a real picture and not AI, of Gavin Newsom holding a cross. And then there is an eagle in the background carrying an American flag. I'm totally sure that this is a real picture. May the Lord guide you, Gavin Newsom. May the Lord guide you. Chris says, Trump, we love Jesus. Great guy. Big cross. Should have been gold. But we got to impose the tariffs. I might end up in hell, but look, after all those late nights with Jeff, I'll probably end up there anyway. So that is what Chris Robinson commented. And then Man with the Sign says, MAGA will be furious that their fake Christianity will be affected by these tariffs. And then we got this meme, this clown meme. I condone Trump raping women. I condone Trump protecting pedos. I condone Trump removing people's human rights. Despite this, I still tell people I'm Christian. And so we got the full clown face because yes, these Christian conservatives still keep acting like they're real Christian. I don't know if y'all heard this news, but federal drug prosecutions are at its lowest level. And so that's the reason for this tweet right here. Donald Trump is weak on drugs. He illegally yanked the California National Guard troops off the border, undermining fentanyl enforcement. Now, federal drug prosecutions have cratered to their lowest level in decades. Insane. The NFL announced that Bad Bunny, a man that sings and raps in Spanish and who sometimes wears women's clothes, will be performing at the halftime show. I absolutely knew that MAGA was going to be losing their mind. So Benny Johnson, a MAGA influencer, is tweeting about this. But before I get to Benny Johnson, the press office says, Benny, calm down. We all know you listen to Bad Bunny, LOL. And then they do the little fingernail emoji right here. Now, I absolutely knew that, the MAGA people who already were not supposed to be watching the NFL were going to melt down about this. Here is right-winger Benny Johnson, who may also be a paid Russian asset, saying, this is Bad Bunny. He was just announced as the 2026 Super Bowl halftime show. Massive Trump hater, anti-ICE activist, no songs in English. He even canceled his entire U.S. tour for this reason. effing ICE could be outside my concert. And it's something that we were talking about and very concerned about. The NFL is self-destructing year after year. I didn't know that this was a quote from Bad Bunny talking about ICE could be outside of his concert, and that's absolutely true. Chip Drink says this is Benny Johnson. He's known for being fired from BuzzFeed for plagiarism. He once asked the internet why he kept getting custom ads for gay corn. Oh, okay. Allegedly has man-on-man loving at the TPUSA events. Okay, he's known for also loving on men like that in a type of way. Benny is self-destructing year after year. And then this person responded to Benny Johnson as well. Bad Bunny is the Super Bowl halftime show. Too bad I won't be watching. And this is what all of those people who are saying that looks like. And then the headquarters for Bad Bunny says, cry about it. That made me laugh right there. I click into that tweet and Wendell Lee says, Puerto Rico making history in the NFL. I know that is making some MAGA people lose their mind. Y'all gonna make me lose my mind. Up in here, up in here. Now for more actual news. The Republican government shutdown is looming. It's going to hit tomorrow. The House leadership for the Democrats and the Republicans were supposed to have sat down with Donald Trump, and it did not go well. So this is a quote from JD Just Dance Vance saying, Democrats are willing to shut down the federal government because we won't give them $1.5 trillion, including taxpayer-funded free healthcare for illegals. We're simply not going to do that. And what the Democrats want is basically to continue healthcare coverage for Americans, which the Republicans stripped out during the One Big Beautiful Bill debacle. This tweet is basically from the White House. That's what the Rapid Response 47 is. That is the press arm for the White House sharing that tweet. The press office reshared that tweet and they said false. The VP isn't being honest. The White House's response when Democrats asked to keep existing healthcare for Americans, go F yourself. An actual quote from Politico. Go F yourself. They really want Americans to lose their healthcare. And this is what Gavin Newsom said. Blatantly false, you dipsh. Another tweet from Gavin Newsom. The Republicans have control of the House, Senate, and White House. If the government shuts down, it's on them. I'm just reminding us all, and I'll say it again. Republicans have control of the House, Senate, and White House. If the government shuts down, it's on them. This person, AE, shared this quote from Donald Trump in 2013. He says, a shutdown falls on the president's lack of leadership. I mean, problems start from the top and they have to get solved from the top. A shutdown means the president is weak. That is what Donald Trump said in 2013. What they're doing right now is shifting blame, even though Democrats are not in charge of anything. Aaron Rupar shares a quote. It says, J.D. Vance blames Biden policies for rural hospitals shutting down in 2025. Everything that's going on right now is in response to Donald Trump and the Republicans in Congress. The One Big Beautiful Bill is closing so much and causing people to lose their health care, but they still want to blame Biden. So here is an article from CNN that Gavin Newsom shared. Rural health clinics are closing after Trump's One Big Beautiful BS of a bill, raising legislation's political risk. We knew that this was going to happen. So many hospitals are going to close, but this is what red states voted for, and this is what the red state lawmakers voted for. They knew that this was going to happen. When Gavin Newsom shared that screenshot, it says, Donald Trump and MAGA Mike Johnson are the reason rural hospitals are being forced to close because they are stripping the funding from Medicaid. Let's bring it back to a little bit of pettiness. So this is from the press office. It says, Dozy Don is very low energy today. People are saying they've never seen him so tired, so weak. He is stumbling through his words. Sad day for America. GCN. You might need this picture. It says Don Snorleone right here. Please take a screenshot of this picture. Mason says he's turned into an effing corpse. You might need this one here. It says, Tiny Hands Donnie must still have his nasty cough from the UN speech. You might need this for some strange reason. Please take a screenshot. The press office shared this screenshot. I hadn't seen this. It says, disgusting. One of Trump's top State Department officials called for the execution of Democrats. And then they shared this headline from the New Republic about this man right here, saying Trump nominee quietly deletes post calling for liberals' execution. It says, bookmark this for the next time Republicans say the left is to blame for all political violence in this country. So this man's name is Jeremy Carl. Jeremy Carl, Trump's nominee to be Assistant Secretary of State. Keep in mind, they are trying to go to war. They are rounding people up. He's coming after his political opponents. These people are the dangerous people. All right, it says yet another Trump nominee is facing scrutiny for their history of incendiary and racist social media posts. Jeremy Carl is the current senior fellow at alt-right Claremont Institute who is up for a position at the State Department in which he would head the Bureau of International Organization Affairs. He has a trove of despicable online statements that he went out of his way to wipe from X, according to CNN's K-File. He also tried to delete his posts from the archival website, the Wayback Machine, though his posts from his previous username can still be found. In one post, Carl called for the execution of American Federation of Teachers President Randy Weingarten. If the U.S. were a serious nation, he wrote, Weingarten would be tried for crimes against America's children and would get the death penalty. I'm sure George Floyd is looking up from hell right now, and he is so proud of America, Carl wrote in another post referring to the unarmed black man who was choked to death by police in 2020. Carl also reposted that statues in Floyd's honor are a disgrace and an embarrassment to our country. There is no peaceful coexistence we're going to have when our opposition is led by people like this, Carl said in response to former Representative Cori Bush commenting on the mass incarceration of black folks on Juneteenth, 2021. So there we have it, a nominee from Trump, Jeremy Carl. So we already talked about the fact that Donald Trump is placing 100% tariffs on movies made outside of the U.S. And so Gavin Newsom says, you're already paying more for eggs, coffee, toys, shoes, electricity, furniture, cars, and flights. Yay. Now Trump wants to raise taxes to see the movies. Pay more and enjoy nothing. That's Donald Trump's America. Yay. Everything's going to be more expensive. You might need this meme. It says he's trying to pay the bills. And then we got this right here, this MAGA person saying, I can't afford food or health care. Please help. And then Donald Trump says, F off. But Netanyahu says, give me $100 billion. And Trump says, okay. Or if you're Argentina, they'll bail out Argentina. But will they bail out the farmers? He says F off to them as well. Well, you know, actually the farmers might get some money. They might get a little something if they're white. So I already shared this post where he was talking about 100% tariffs on movies. And he was saying that at 5:56 a.m. this morning. This is the very next tweet at 6:04 a.m. In order to make North Carolina, which has completely lost its furniture business to China and other countries, great again, I will be imposing substantial tariffs on any country that does not make its furniture in the United States. Details to follow. President DJT. So if you have a business that needs furniture or fixtures, you're going to be paying more money. And therefore, if you are a renter or somebody that needs to buy one of these spaces, you're going to be spending more money as well because we Americans pay the tariffs.